Healing is the resolution. Love is the language. Healing starts with a choice to stand for unity, for compassion, for change. Across our community, every sector is stepping forward. Individuals, faith leaders, educators and educational institutions, athletes, government officials, business leaders, health professionals, law enforcement and fire service, each taking the pledge in their own way, yet united by one purpose. Because when we all choose healing, our community moves, our city breathes, and hope comes alive. Join the movement. Take the pledge at www.the411live.org. Print your pledge. Take a picture holding the I took the pledge and post it on your social media page with the hashtag the411live. Hashtag I dare you to heal. Now, I dare you to heal.
The 411 Live.
Where you can learn about issues that affect us every day. State of world, 411 Live.
Real people, real talk.
Made to help people in our community in every way. For your girl, 411 Live.
I was talking to a friend of mine not too long ago, and she told me that she had met this person, and they had a long talk, and she said, Beverly, you need her on your podcast because she has an incredible life story. It's about trauma, tragedy, and triumph. I said, okay. And she said, she's in Milwaukee. My friend is in Texas, but she said she lives in Milwaukee. So I called her. Yeah, she does have an incredible story. Hello, everyone. I'm Beverly Taylor, and this is the 411 Live, Real People, Real Talk. I want to introduce you to this incredible young woman, Zeyah Young. The reason I wanted you on the podcast is because your story is inspiring. You know, we have a lot of things, like my pastor used to say, you're either coming out of a storm, you're in a storm, or you're going to a storm. Or you just came out, you're in it, or you're going. But for some people, that when it happens a lot, you get a bunch of blows, they want to give up. And you've had a bunch of blows, but you didn't give up. And you're still not giving up. And you're giving back. So welcome to you, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about, I'm just going to kind of go chronologically because since we don't have a lot of time and you have a big story and I want to get as much into it as possible, I'm looking way back, childhood. I know that there was abuse in the family, but I'm wondering, was there a time when there wasn't?
Yes, there was always a time. I come from a working class background, two-parent household. I always see my mother go out and get it. I seen empowerment there. Mind you, my mother was a registered nurse, so there was always empathy and sympathy that she taught me and my siblings along the way. So there was always happy moments. We had the great birthdays. We traveled. We wore little sundresses, rode bikes. So there was good times. Yes, there was.
Okay, you're the oldest of four.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So then we hit a crisis point. Something happened. Then there was abuse, verbal and physical?
Yes, my mother and father went through a nasty divorce, and that's when I noticed things started to change in my life. I didn't understand because, mind you, I'm going through adolescence, so I didn't understand the dynamics that were happening, that our family was falling apart. This perfect family is starting to fall apart, and that's when it all started happening.
Right. And then did they get caught up in the crack cocaine of the 80s epidemic?
Yes, absolutely. My father was on crack cocaine. My mother, she was doing the best she could do. And actually, when we left my father's, when she picked up the substance abuse, she started partaking as well.
After she left him?
After she left him. But before she left him, that is my superhero of the family.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw empowerment. I saw a woman that had resilience. I seen this woman that was a care provider by daytime and nighttime. It was a party house. So I seen the difference. And because of the mannerism of the household, the way how she raised us, you wouldn't understand or even think unless you partaked with that substance abuse with her, that those things were going on inside that household. Now, there was no sexual abuse, but there was physically, as far as, whoopings, which nowadays you would probably think that's child abuse, but really she was just rearing us. Mm-hmm. And when I look back at it, she was rearing me to become the woman that I am today, right. And I thank her for that.
Yeah. There was a point where things kind of spiraled, where you are almost taking care of Mom, right?
Once Mom had started partaking into the crack cocaine epidemic, the roles had reversed. I became the mother figure, and she became the daughter figure. So, which means those siblings that I have, mm-hmm. I pushed them to keep going because I felt like somebody had to make it, and I'd rather see them make it because I just felt like I was the oldest. And, it's like an eagle. I was soaring, right. But I wasn't soaring high. And I felt like I had little eaglets that could soar better if they had that influence. I knew this as a little girl. If you give positive talk, positive things happen. I didn't know how I knew it, but I knew it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And your siblings benefit from it.
Yes, they did.
Because now, they have careers, they have homes, they're doing well.
Very well, and I'm very proud of that. And so now they're looking at their big sister, and they want to see me succeed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I have never met a person who was emancipated. How did that come about?
So my mother was partaking into the substance abuse era, and the monies that she was getting too much of, and they had told her she could no longer be the payee. She had to find somebody that could become a payee, or she would lose the benefits that was coming in. Now, mind you, she's getting Social Security, mm-hmm. She's getting AFDC, she's getting food stamps and all that. But this particular income that she was getting, you had to have somebody that had not been into the system, had not borrowed money before, things of that such nature. She took me downtown to the courthouse and told them that she no longer could do X, Y, and Z. I had to go to court. She had to go. We had to sign some paperwork. She had to get it stamped and approved.
Oh, notarized?
Notarized,
yeah.
Excuse me, that's the word. She had to get it notarized, and so I'm not knowing what's going on. This is a whole new world.
Right.
So I was able to go cash the checks. I was able to pay the bills. I was able to do such things of such. Although she still had the substance abuse problem, she was showing me how to pay certain things and keep things in perspective. Because like I said, if you didn't get into the drug life with her, you didn't know she was getting high unless you and her partake together.
Right.
So we were holding up this big image, so people didn't know.
But how is that for you, taking on all this responsibility?
Well, first and foremost, these are my siblings. Mm-hmm. We were always taught you stick together, that's all you have. And I felt like these are my sisters. These really are my sisters. I had to be there for them. I felt like I was a superhero. They have this syndrome called eldest sister or the oldest sister mm-hmm. syndrome. There is no diagnosis for that. That is just a saying for that. And I felt like I've experienced all the whole symptoms, because when it comes to being the oldest, you have to have resilience for the other ones falling behind you.
Right.
You have to set an example. And I think I did set a pretty good example. Although I was partaking in my own spiral, I was going down, I didn't want to see my little sisters not be the best they could be, because that was the mold that I took. That was the disposition that I took in life, that I had to see them make it. I didn't think that it was important for me, because I felt like I was going to be able to do this one day or the other.
Right.
I didn't know how, Beverly,
yeah.
But this is what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. You were talking about, doing all these things for your sisters, making sure they're okay. But you mentioned a spiral. You were going, what, down? What was happening to you?
So spiral. So first of all, I was an honor student coming from the Grand Avenue Middle School. Got accepted to Riverside University High School, honor student. That's when my life started to spiral. Once I got into high school, I started partaking in marijuana. I started hanging out with people that were rejected or were feeling or seeing the things that I was seeing. That was the crowd that I wanted to be in. Didn't understand that, but that was a depression that I was going through, and didn't see that or didn't realize that. So I would start hanging out with them. So we would start skipping to school. I started stealing, all type of things, because I was looking for the attention I was not getting.
Right, right. Then comes your mom's drug dealer.
Correct.
Impregnates you.
Yes, he does.
At 17.
Yes, he does.
At that point, what were you going through? How did you process that?
Well, the process was I was looking for love in all the wrong directions, and he was giving me the love that I thought was natural. But so mind you, I'm a daddy's girl. So when you're not receiving that love where you're supposed to be getting it, now you're seeking it to get it from other places.
Right.
And when someone's giving you things and making you feel a certain way, you think that's love because you don't understand what love is. You know, I'm 17 years old. How do I know what love is besides what I've experienced at home? And if I'm not getting it from home, I'm looking for it to get it from somewhere because I know I'm a lovable person. I should be getting love. I do understand that because that was something I was receiving once upon a time.
Right. And I'm sure he saw that vulnerability.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. So you dropped out of school?
Yes, I dropped out of school because now I have a little one that I got to be responsible for. Now, mind you, I like being there for people. Now, this is my own offspring. So, of course, I want to give him the best life that I never had.
Right. And you dropped out of school, and at 25, you get your high school diploma.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it one of those things where you said, one day I will, but I'll make sure he's taking care?
So that was my motive. My motive was to see him get across the stage. I wanted him to do more than what I did. My mother always had this saying, don't be anything like me. Be better than me. Be different than me. And so that was the motive that I was giving to my son as well. And so, yes, he is a high school graduate. He does have some college education. He's doing pretty well for himself. He will be turning 30. He's not a father. He's, enjoying life. He's been across the world, so he's doing pretty good.
All right.
I'm smiling,
Right. You did okay as a mom, right?
I can't say, I can't take all the credit because God had a lot to do with this as well, too.
Right.
And I'm not going to take much from his father because he was a good father to his son. He's still in his son's life, and they have a great relationship.
That's good.
So I can't just say I did all this by myself. I'm not going to sit here and just say all the credit goes to me because it does not.
Right. Right. So you get through this. So you've gotten through this, you're 25, your son is doing well, you're ready to head back to school, and you have the high school diploma, you get into college, you decide you want to kind of be like mom and go into nursing?
So, yes, that was my passion. Oh, my God, that was my passion. I wanted to be a nurse because I wanted to follow in the footsteps that I was being shown. Didn't quite happen that way for me. I had got up to 77 credits. I end up getting robbed by gunpoint, carjacked. This was in 2017. I get carjacked, car's gone for 33 days. I'm in nursing school getting ready to take the examination. They allowed me to take it 4 times. You had to have a solid 75. On the last test, I ended up getting a 74.3. I remember this like it's yesterday. I broke down.
Yeah.
Because I had been striving so hard. I got 77 credits. And this is what I see. I see nothing else. All I see is nursing because this is what I've been shown. This is what I know. I know I can do this. I know I can do this. So quite naturally, how it works is you get kicked out of that program and you got to find some other program. Mind you, I got 77 credits. I'm not leaving Alverna. This is the college I'm attending.
Right.
I'm not leaving there. So I go home, and my advisor calls me. We're best friends right now to this day. She calls me and says, we have a program starting called the social worker program. First, she said, "Good morning, how are you doing? Are you through having your pity party?"
Whoa. Yeah.
And so I said, "Yes, what's going on, blase, blase." And she went on to tell me that they had this new program that was being introduced to Alvernos College. And she thought I would be a great candidate for it. And that although I would lose 10 of those credits, I could still take those 66 and transfer over. Yes, of course, you got to start all the way over. That's a whole nother 4 years. You know, I'm looking at my clock like, I don't have this time. Mm-hmm. And that's when the new Zeyah Young got invented. I really realized this is who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in this skin.
Do you feel, sometimes your path is going this way, and there is a divine intervention that shifts your path a little bit? Do you feel like that's what happened to you?
I know definitely that's what happened to me because, mind you, remember I told you I got robbed by gunpoint. While this gentleman is robbing me, the first thing I'm thinking is, where's his mother? Where's his father? Does he have a sister, a daughter, a niece, a grandmother? That was the first thing I was thinking because, mind you, while I'm urinating on myself, I'm thinking I'm about to lose my life anyway. So this is what's going through my thought process.
Wow. You're thinking about him.
I'm thinking about him.
What's his history?
What's his history?
And the social work path that you go on kind of helps you examine what might be his history.
It's so funny, Beverly. My little sisters, they always say I've been the social worker their whole entire life.
Yeah.
And I laugh at that. Yeah. And they say you're finally walking into who you really are.
Mm-hmm. And they see it. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. And I want to talk about how that carjacking kind of impacted you, bringing back some of that trauma that you've been through, and discovering that you have a tumor in your brain. A lot of stuff. Like I said, things pile up, but there is resilience here. Hey, this is the 411 Live. We'll be right back.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
I never got a college degree. Now I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions.
You know what's been on my mind? Gun injuries and gun suicides are going up among teens. If a kid is angry or keeping to themselves, make sure they don't have access to a gun.
Keeping guns stored securely feels like the simplest way to protect everyone.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Welcome back to the 411 Live. I am talking with Zeyah Young. She is telling her riveting story, her life story. So you've been carjacked, nursing test, you failed it, you pivoted, you got into social work, and you discovered that this is really the path you should be on all the time.
Absolutely.
You absorb this material.
Yes.
And you, through it, it sounds like that you gained empathy for your attacker.
Yes, I did. Yes, actually, when I went to his sentencing, I told him I forgave him.
Wow.
And I know God has forgave him. But he does need some rehabilitation, and I hope when he gets back out into the population, he'll understand that a black man does not have to be identified by their character.
Okay. Now, we're in 2020, I think. And I think it was around there that you discovered you had a tumor.
Actually, December 19th, 2019, the last day of the semester, we're wrapping it up, finals. December, yes, you're correct. So then January of 20, my sister, so I'm going to take it back. So December of 2019, my sister graduates with her nurse practitioner. So she has this party, and they're thinking that I'm belligerent at the party. I'm not a drinker. I mean, I do have my drinks, you know, my fair share, but I can handle myself. And so they're thinking that I'm I had too much this particular day. That was the tumor riding on my cognitive nerves. So to a person, first of all, let me identify the tumor. It was a meninge, which was non-cancerous. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
So my sister's telling me something's wrong with me. I'm like, no, you're just trying to get credit because you just graduated. I'm going to be your guinea pig. I call her Nosy Susie.
Okay.
Nosy Susie took me to the hospital, and they found out what was really going on because she had the verbiage to tell them. Because you got to realize I had insurance that I did not fit the criteria to have an MRI. Whatever verbiage my sister told that hospital, they got me to 3 MRIs that night.
Wow.
And that's when they discovered I had a mass the size of a grapefruit riding on my brain.
Now that's big.
Very big.
The size of a grapefruit.
The size of a grapefruit.
I'm assuming you had surgery to get it out, or get some of it out?
Yes, ma'am. So I had surgery to get 80% out. I still live with 20% of that for the rest of my life, or I would have been completely paralyzed had they took all 100% of it out.
Yeah. And you were in the hospital and rehab for a year?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you handle
During
that?
COVID.
Oh.
I did not handle it. I was experiencing depression. I was going through anxiety. My ADHD had started to flare all up. It was just so many things that was going on. And then, mind you, I'm in an isolated place. I'm looking at people that are providers, but they have on masks. So they're looking like creatures, you know, but they're here to help me, and they're helping me get better. So, to be without family and friends, I had no support system, was not allowed to have that during that time.
Okay. So, you know, I know with the robbery, that whole thing where you thought you were going to die, that brought up, that was a trigger, right? But this is another trigger.
Yes, it is. So mind you, I was starting to get therapy. We already have been in therapy, me and my siblings, because my parents' divorce degree. That was an agreement that my father had always wanted, that we got therapy. So I was familiarized with therapy, but you got to realize I'm an African American that has a stereotype when it comes to therapy, because I felt like if I went there, I would be labeled as I'm crazy, or, oh yeah, her elevator doesn't go all the way to the top, because this is what I've heard all my entire life. But we had to go to it because this is what our parents are telling us how to do this. Excuse me, let me slow down. So I knew about therapy.
Yeah.
But when I got robbed, that you got to realize I got opened up. I'm a Pandora's box. There were a lot of things that I was suppressing.
And that opened up. So with the rehab, you have a year. You have to learn to walk again?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to learn to talk again?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a tedious process, isn't it?
Mind you, I was in the hospital. I couldn't even talk then. I had a trach. So you have to be able to write everything down. Mind you, when I say God got my attention, he took my hearing, my sight, and my voice, so I could hear what he had to say, because he had some things he had to tell me.
Yeah?
Yes.
So this is a revelation period.
Yes, it is.
What is Zeyah like on the other side of that?
I do have such empathy and sympathy for any population. I understand what it's like. I look at this world as like I have the have and I have the have-nots. I'm no better than anybody else, but I do make different choices. I thank God for allowing me to see things on both sides.
Yeah.
And I want to do what he wants me to do, and that's to help his people. That's what I've always liked doing. I'm just doing it at a different level now. And I love what I do.
Right, right. I love the part when we talked earlier, you were saying that, you know, when you were going through the rehab and everything, you said, you told God, you know, if you bring me through this, if I recover, I will volunteer at Froedtert. And you did that.
Yes, so that has been going on for the last 3 years of my life. I give Froedtert Hospital a volunteer a day. It's called my volunteer day. Mm-hmm. I give that to any such floor in that hospital because I was a patient there, and I know it was like not to have a visitor. This is 2025, and you got patients right now that don't even have family members visit them because of what their lifestyles have, you know, permitted them to be like. And so I just sit down. I can't advocate. All I can do is just be a listener, somebody to just they can look at, talk to, just have a live person, because I know what it felt like not to have that. And that's a very important process of when you're recovering.
Yeah, yeah. To know somebody sees you.
To know somebody sees you.
And somebody cares.
And somebody cares.
So when you go in those rooms and you're there, are they asking, why are you doing this?
They ask that all the time, every day. It's not one day when I'm there that they don't ask, why do I do this? And, you know, if I visit them more than 3 times, that's when I allow myself to show my vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they're just like they're fly-by, frequent flyers. They fly in and they fly out.
Yeah.
That's what I call them.
Yeah.
They call themselves that. So if they're a frequent flyer and I see them after the 3rd time, then I'll let them know my vulnerability as far as that I was a patient as well, and I lived in this very room, and I know exactly what you're experiencing, and I know everything you've been through. And just to show them that there is some hope that one day this shall pass.
Right. Yeah. What are your future plans? I know that you have a business.
Yes, I do.
Mrs. Z's Prenatal?
Miss Z's Prenatal Care, LLC.
Okay, there we go. And so from the name, you know what you deal with. But you want to expand that for mental well-being, right?
Yes, yes.
Why is that so important to you?
First of all, when you're coming from my culture, we have a trust issue. As an African American, I'm just going to speak from my own perspective. Mm-hmm. As an African American woman, I have trust issues. I'm not going to trust anybody, especially not somebody that doesn't look like me and has not had the experience like I've had. What can you tell me? What do you know about what I'm going through? You just sitting there probably judging me, writing it down, and I'm just another statistic. But if I look at somebody that looks like me and talks like me, and he or she has had some of the experiences that I have, I'll kind of trust them. I'll start trusting, not kind of. I'll start trusting them, because now I won't feel like I'm just being looked at, or I'm another statistic, or I'm just something that you need to do. You know nothing about who I am or what I deal with.
Right, right. So you want to target a specific group.
I would like to deal with people that's dealing with mental health issues, disorders, shenanigans, snarls, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because that's the special group.
Yeah.
All groups are special for that matter, and I want to be able to help them in any which way I can. I want to be able to advocate for that group.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. We were talking about going through and, you know, that switch to social work, and you're about to get your master's degree.
Yes, I graduate December 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. at the UWM Panther Arena.
You have the date, the time, everything. I appreciate you being so open about your story. There have been in your life, I mean, everybody has stuff.
Yes.
But when you lay it out the way you do, and people hear what you've gone through, it inspires other people. If I can do it, or if she can do it, I can do it. And I also like the fact that you have a thought of, but God. This all happened, but God, you know? So I'm on the other side because of him.
Yes, I know. everything. I thank God just for what he has done, for what he will do, and what he is doing in my life. Because I know without him, this would not be possible. And I have to thank him every day, every moment, every second for all the blessings that he has upon my life. Because there's still more to come.
Amen. I think that's a good place to end. Zeyah Young, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. You're good. And thank you for joining us for another episode of the 411 Live. Real people, real talk, where we love bringing in interesting people with interesting stories, impactful stories like Zeyah's. We are a nonprofit organization, so if you'd like to partner with us, go to our website, the411live.org. Until next time, I'm Beverly Taylor, and this is the 411 Live. God bless. If you would like to check out past episodes, there are many ways. Go to your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Like and watch us on Facebook. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, go to our website, the411live.org.